what's up? It's Wick for WickieMedia Tutorials. And in this third episode about EQ, I'm going to talk about how you can become good at equalizing. You really need to know where the frequencies of the instruments are that you're working with. And you will need to know what you want to achieve. First off, I always start looking for frequencies that I want to remove. And there's going to be a lot of common situations where we have a bass and a guitar, and where we have a bass and a kick drum, or maybe a lot of guitars and the vocal. And these are instruments which have a lot of overlapping frequencies. So I'm going to start off by removing some of the frequencies that I don't need. And this will definitely clean up the mix. So I would say cleaning up is the first thing that I start off with. Let's take a look at a general overview of all the frequency bands that we're going to be running into and what they sound like to give it a description. On the far left, we've got the extreme low frequencies from 20 Hz up to 60 Hz. A lot of recordings can contain these frequencies while we don't even need them, and these will generally create a muddy low end in our mix. The frequency region from 60 Hz up to 300 Hz is where a lot of the fundamental frequencies of a lot of tones are. Boosting in this frequency region will make things sound very boomy, while removing too much of these frequencies can make sounds very thin. The 300 up to 2500 Hz is a really hard one. This is where most of the fundamental and first harmonics of most of the instruments and sounds that we work with are, so this deserves a lot of time. Boosting too much in this frequency region will kind of give that telephone sound, or really that horn-like sound, which is around 800 Hz. While on 400 Hz, things tend to sound really boxy, so you'll need to spend a great amount of time in this frequency region. In the 2.5 up to 5 kHz region, we find a lot of the clarity. If we boost a little bit around 3 kHz, we can increase the clarity. Boosting too much will make sounds very thin. The 5 up to 7 kHz region makes sounds very thin and even annoying at some times. Boosting too much will make it really too annoying to listen to. Doing a small boost can sometimes increase the, crispness or sharpness of a sound. Removing some of the frequencies from this frequency region can actually make a sound a little bit warmer. Then we've got the very high frequencies from 7 kHz up to 20 kHz. This is really where the air sound and the sharpness is located at. You can find a lot of the clarity of vocals still in this region. Removing it too much will sound very compressed, while adding too much can make things sound too sharp. And since we're going to be combining a lot of different sounds together with overlapping frequencies, we're going to have to remove some of these frequencies and add some, really to get that perfect blend and have certain sounds stick out the way that we want. So as I started out with, a general rule is to remove frequencies before you start adding them. Some people talk about colors when it comes down to EQing. I want a little bit more orange in the bass line, and I want some more light blue in the hi-hat. So some people can actually see frequencies as a color. I rather know just the frequency range that I'm looking for than, looking for a specific color personally. So I've made this whole list, and I'm gonna make this downloadable chart from my website. Plus I've printed this poster, which can be a really helpful tool. And this contains all the instruments and their overlapping frequencies, and a lot of useful stuff for when it comes down to equalizing. In the next video, I'm gonna do a practical approach where I'm really gonna start equalizing instruments. And we're going to try to create some separation between instruments in a mix with the use of EQ as well. So it's going to be a cool episode, the next one. And as always, this was Wick for WickieMedia Tutorials. I hope you've learned something today, and I'll see you soon. Peace!